let's talk AFC North because
I do not understand this division at all.
who knows what's going on over there? What's your first take on how it's all shaping up out there? Every team looks good.
The biggest thing for me is that the Bengals are at the bottom. Nobody expected that. Bengals were highly regarded as a top 2-3 team in the AFC. Joe Burrow, top 2 quarterback, and they're 500. They have a negative 27 point differential. It's bad.
Well, a lot of that point differential just comes from that one Titans game. So I wouldn't look too much into that statistic specifically.
Okay, fair, but
the Steelers point differential has to be worse, no?
What?
I would feel like the Steelers point differential is just as bad. They had those 2 big losses.
It's minus 24, yeah, and they're 4-2.
Yeah.
the Steelers making. There's a few teams in the league. We went over this with like the Bills last week. The Steelers also make 0 cents. They don't score on offense the whole entire game. Their defense has no business being as good as it is. And then they win these low-scoring games by like the slightest margins every week.
Well, they did do one thing. You know what? As confusing as the Steelers might be, I'm going to say right now, no, I'm not coming out with some crazy playoff take like the Dolphins, the Super Bowl last week. But I am seriously not going to doubt Mike Tomlin. I know we keep talking Matt Canada this and all that. They find ways to win games. And you know what? My biggest takeaway from this past week was with
what is that? What is that?
Is that Cooper Kupp was basically eliminated from that football game.
I mean, that's coaching though. That's what Mike Tomlin does.
I'm talking about Mike Tomlin. Like
yeah.
I don't.
The Steelers don't lose games. The Steelers, they play smart. They don't lose games. They're in every game. Well, most games. They just don't make dumb mistakes. Like you think of all the stupid stuff the Bears do and all these low-level franchises. The Steelers just never do those things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Puka went off, of course, because someone on the Rams was bound to. But I think that they were okay with that. I think they were like, you know what, we can give them that, but the Rams are gonna want to run the offense through Cooper Kupp, and they said no. And obviously, there's no what's his name, their new running back.
Who?
It's slipping my mind. The Rams running back who got injured.
Daryl Hunter. Oh,
Kyren Williams. They have no Kyren Williams, and they had no Ronnie Rivers, so they had to roll with Darrell Henderson, who's been fine in the past. But still, I think the Steelers game planned so well for that game, and that's the sole reason they won. Look over across the board, like you wouldn't have picked TJ Watt to get an interception. You would have had him to get 2 or 3 sacks to win the game. But they're doing things that they got to do to win. And every week, I feel like we come on this show and we're like, how on earth did the Steelers win that game?
Wait, can you hear me all right?
You're a little quiet.
It's every week. It's the same thing every week. Like, remember that Ravens game a couple weeks ago? We both and then it was like 8-10, like the whole entire game. And all of a sudden, they just pulled out at the end.
Yeah, when Pickett
every game. No, every play the Steelers run, I swear half the plays they run is like a back shoulder fade to Pickett. And Kenny Pickett like shotguns it in there.
To George Pickens, yeah.
Pickens, that's what I said. That's what I meant to say.
It's like how the Bears finally figured out, like, if you throw to DJ Moore, he'll move the ball down the field. The Steelers' whole offense do every play. Throw the ball to Pickens.
Yeah, but they run it half the time.
And they don't run it well. I mean, Najee found the end zone and
Jalen Warren found that twice a game, and it's always for a touchdown, so it looks good. And Matt Canada's got to be the luckiest employee in America, I swear. He is so bad. He's so bad.
Yeah, I mean,
like their offense is like the only difference between the Steelers' offense and watching paint dry is paint actually dries. The Steelers' offense just doesn't do anything. I mean, they're so bad.
I mean, that's a lot to say about a team that's 4-2. I kept talking all these weeks.
How are they 4-2? They're 24 points down.
Yeah, they're 4-2. They've only lost to the Niners 30-6 or 30-7, and they lost to the Texans 30-6. And
the Steelers have only okay.
So they've beaten the Raiders, the Browns, the Ravens, and the Rams now. 3 teams starting with R.
Oh my god, the Giants are so bad. I'm looking at points. Okay. The Steelers are bottom 3 in the league in points scored.
Yeah.
Sorry, bottom 4.
remind you of anyone? Remind you of some specific teams? The
Yeah,
2018
Steelers.
Bears, carried by our Super Bowl level defense.
They've scored two more points than the Patriots have this season, who are widely regarded as the worst offense.
Oh yeah. Whoa. Any team I'm seeing in the comments, any team that loses to the Texans is poverty. The Texans are good this year.
The Texans are good.
The Texans are well coached also.
The Texans are well coached. They're sitting pretty above the Colts. The Texans are not bad.
Well,
I don't know what that comment was.
Sidetrack from the North for a sec. I have one number one pick of the week right now, and we know both of our track records. We'll get into that in This Week in Vegas. God. I was looking at who's playing each other and everything, and the
Colts are not better.
The Texans play the Panthers this week. That means Will Anderson is going to get to pass rush Bryce Young like for real for the first time.
Oh, that's wild. He's also triple his size too.
I think Will Anderson to get a sack this week is an absolute lockopotamus. He's going to be like, yeah, I finally can try and sack this dude who I've been teammates with for all these years. You just know it's going to happen.
No. The spread's 3. That feels like a crime.
Well, the Panthers are bound to win eventually. I don't think it's
eventually, but I just don't, how can you bet on the Panthers to win? The Panthers are terrible.
The Panthers have some pieces.
Like what pieces? They have Brian Burns. What other pieces do they have?
Thielen's been playing really well.
Oh I mean, Thielen's like 32. Thielen's not going to carry the offense
every game.
Philly shit Miles Sanders out of town. I'm pretty sure Jeremy Chin is hurt. I couldn't name another player.
Jeremy Chin is hurt.
JC Horn is hurt. They have no one else.
Bryce Young is a playmaker. He's going to make plays.
He's a rookie. He's overwhelmed. I don't know if he's overwhelmed, but he's just. I don't know. Bryce Young hasn't been clicking for me.
Yeah,
they just don't. They don't score points.
We'll get into the Bills.
I don't know. The Panthers, they're just not good.
Yeah, they. I don't know. I think the Texans should beat them, but I don't think the line is out of the +3. I mean, Panthers. Bryce Young is going to have to win a game eventually. You would think.
Thanks for watching Neutral Zone Reaction with Brady Hannon and Jules Bergman. Make sure to catch our other videos and live streams on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, and Audible.
We hope you enjoyed and can't wait to talk football with you next time.